What is going on, my Cardano friends? It is your friend Jack here. And in today's video, we're going to be going over, is Cardano ever going to explode? What's happening? Why has Cardano been a stable coin for the past months? And what's next for Cardano, in my humble opinion, coming from my mom's basement? With that being said, let's get right into it. In the meantime, if you're holding your Cardano and you want to earn some passive income paid in ADA every 5 days, please consider staking with the Jack stake pool to earn passive ADA on your ADA. Now, first thing I want to go over, and we're going to be looking at a screen I have not been on in quite some time, especially on the channel. I haven't really talked about price in a while, haven't looked at price in a while, just kind of been hanging out and chilling. That's what we've been doing. And honestly, I think market outlook, there's no way I have any idea what's going to happen, to be honest with you. All I can really do is tell you what I'm going to do based on what does happen. That is my main goal here. I don't want to set any unrealistic expectations because realistically, I have no idea what's going to happen next. I do think that eventually, in the next year to year and a half, the prices are going to be very high. We're going to see some crazy all-time highs. So in that sense, I'm not really someone who trades any kind of crypto at all. I just buy and hold for the most part. My main strategy right now is just holding my Cardano, pretty much. I also have a decent amount of Ergo. That's down about 60% from where I bought it. I traded Cardano for Ergo. I made a video about it. But honestly, that's why I don't trade. But mainly because I know there's a lot coming to Cardano. I'm looking at the ecosystem every day. And right now, I do think there's a lot of things on the horizon that are somewhat catalysts for Cardano's growth, especially, of course, with DeFi coming and tons of things on the rise to bring in more users, more attraction to Cardano in general, and more people on the blockchain developing cool things. I know there's a lot of jokes going around about Cardano being a stable coin, and I can see where they're coming from. There is some truth in that, but in all honesty, those things don't bug me because I know that there's a lot of people building on Cardano. There's a lot of people looking to use Cardano for real world application. And that to me is more bullish than the short-term price sentiment that we can see right now. That, however, being said, I do think there's also a lot of things going on from things like exchanges that, have me kind of questioning, okay, what do they know that I don't? Or what are they doing here, right? As you can see here, a screenshot of Binance paying 35% APY on Cardano locked in their platform. Now, keep in mind, this is basically them trying to get people to lock in their Cardano on the exchange so they can run their own stake pools and, fully profit off of that. Now, how can they afford this 35% APY? Well, there's some catch to it. You can only stake a max of 300 ADA for the 35% APY, then it's diminishing returns, and the rest of the ADA, people just leave on the exchange, and then the exchange uses it for liquidity pools, especially coming up in DeFi, where they can earn 4x yield in liquid finance protocol, or they can just be a liquidity provider and rake in even more, also while staking it to their own pools and turning tons of ADA into more ADA. But basically, these exchanges are going to be accumulating things that are especially providing a liquid proof of stake mechanism like Cardano, which is pretty much the only liquid proof of stake mechanism that you could lend your Cardano while having it staked to your own pool if you're an exchange. So that is something to keep in mind, that exchanges and big players are accumulating ADA. In my humble opinion, I believe so, for a number of reasons, besides just, farming the ADA to get more ADA. With stake pools and liquidity lending soon enough when those options are available, but also just because lots of people have their eyes on Cardano right now. That being said, as you can see right here, there's an article from Forbes listing ADA and being able to track it on their website now, with a little bit of an introduction here. And then also CoinDesk made an article. I don't know what they're smoking when they made the title, and they named it that they borrowed from Ethereum, scientific peer-reviewed process. But anyways, it was actually a decent article, still a good read. There was some misinformation in there, but most of it was pretty unbiased and pretty accurate. So pretty huge. A lot of people did not like this, who don't like Cardano, but in general, I think we are seeing more people accept that Cardano is actually here to stay and here to make a difference in the blockchain world. Coming back to the price for just a second, I'm not going to give you an $8 to $10 to $20 to $32 prediction because I have no idea what's going to happen, as I mentioned before in this video. But I do hope for a $5 to $10 Cardano within the next 2 quarters of 2022. That's my hope. Do I think that it's possible? Yes. Do I think that it's certain or likely? Honestly, I'm not sure. I have no idea. It could happen. Ideally, we'd see a $5 to $10 Cardano or a new all-time high at least within the first quarter of 2021. But honestly, if you're buying and holding like me, it doesn't really matter too much. Taxes come into play, of course. Those can be annoying, but overall, if you're buying and holding, and especially right now, if you're down on your buy-in like me, it won't matter too much. So to be honest, I'm thinking that we at some point are going to see a large breakout led by Bitcoin, and that is going to set in stone a new all-time highs for Cardano as well. And then also we're going to have the compounding effect of users coming into the network to also up that price, up that total value locked. And once DeFi starts blossoming, which I believe will happen in Q1 and Q2, I think the Cardano price will reflect that quite heavily, even aside from Bitcoin price going up. Speaking of DeFi, something I showed in an earlier video this week, I would also like to touch on again, is that yes, SundaeSwap has now done a runtime verification or an audit of the contracts for their DeFi or their DEX basically, and it's pretty huge. All of the issues that were identified in the audit have been solved to the satisfaction of the auditor, and there's a lot going on here that is very bullish for a top tier DEX on Cardano. Not just, simple AMM swaps, not just simple back forth. There's going to be liquidity pools. There's going to be pretty much all you could ask for in your top tier DEX. Obviously, there's going to be more things like lending and borrowing and certain types of DeFi that come later on. But having this runtime verification of this audit of the contracts that SundaeSwap is going to be using is pretty huge, and it is pretty big, especially leading into DeFi coming in 2022 Q1. The last thing I want to mention is NFTs. I do believe that NFTs are still a pretty big part of general consensus, people coming into the space of blockchain. I think that cryptocurrencies as a whole or investing can get overwhelming, and a lot of people don't even invest in stocks. They're probably not going to start investing in Bitcoin or Cardano or Ethereum. So I do believe that NFTs are still a great on-ramp for the everyday person to come in and experience cryptocurrencies. And I think this is still a huge sector of Cardano that hasn't been accounted for in many people's price videos or predictions. And I think it's just another avenue which users will come on board, which is pretty huge. And all of this, well, I haven't even mentioned the fact that Cardano is bringing decentralized finance and just better forms of digital identity to underdeveloped parts of the world, like Africa. And I think this is another huge catalyst that is obviously overlooked in many cases for users being onboarded and real world application. I do think this is pretty huge. I want to highlight it in the video. And overall, my plan here is just to hold my Cardano. That's the consensus I'm going with. That's what I'm finishing the video off. If you found this video enjoyable, entertaining, educational, whatever else, please consider staking with the Jack Stake Pool once more. Turn passive 8 on your ADA. And I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been your friend Jack from my mom's basement. Peace out.